We are being so serious over here at the caster booth in two very separate locations of the world. But no more final out advance. There's only one grand final ticket we can give to one of these teams.
So I have to take the silly out of my name.
Yeah, ban serious.
And serious. Let's go. So let's be serious. What I'm thinking about here, though, is I do like the changes coming out from NVFlyQuest going into the last time these two teams played against each other. Because when the desk talked about NVFlyQuest not using any of the initiators, it makes sense because you're starting off on a defense. You're playing a Sage, you're walling off, you're forcing players and funneling players to get against you. But now you're starting off on the attack, so you want to change things a little bit. A very similar vibe and look and feel of what they had on Bind before. So trying to play through smokes, double flash out, and be very aggressive. And now you have a double tap shield to add on top of that to help on the execution. So this is going to be a new test now for KRLY to try to study and overcome in this map.
Nice. Oh, I was gonna say the possible twofer for Michaela to kick things off, but NVFlyQuest will be silenced at the beginning. And remember, guys, these are pug teams, so the structure is gonna be all out of sorts. And look where NVFlyQuest are, mainly Exter. While Poppin's gonna do a Kane Zera cosplay in another round, but the rest of NVFlyQuest hope to set up, but with the limited members that they have left, it's going to be hard to hold any space. So they want to get ahead of the game, and waiting for them is Benji. And he's like, I told you they were going to be there. Double swing confirmed by Monch, but a paranoia is now thrown into the mix from Thea to capitalize on this, but the gun did not do what she wanted.
I just love that during this one-on-one duel, you see, what was it? It was the Omen, right? It was Benji just looking back and like, hey, do you have this? I'm just looking at you. You're just doing your 1v1. You can win this. And then eventually she did. So he didn't need to swing out for that trade. But it was kind of funny how they just didn't make sure that they confirmed the kill by going for the double swing after. Outside of that, though, we just saw here that you're trying to play contact for a lot of these players around the side of FlyQuest Envy. Unfortunately, you're getting caught off guard. And the duel in the middle, it makes sense. It didn't work out into your favor. You couldn't really get the trade. You did some damage at least onto Michaela, but after that, once you force that rotate over, the corners weren't being cleared. You didn't have the buddy system to really try to go for the contact play towards that back of the spawn, and that just foils out all the plans that you're trying to do here on your post plant hold.
Love that every time this Lion crew wins a round, my ears get blown out. Like they're happy to be here, not feeling the intensity of, you know, a semifinal. A lot on the line. Spike left behind. This is exploration time. A default. Ev trusted with the lurk and is able to convert this time. Really struggled on the Haven previously to make the plays solo. But this time, really is going to confuse this Lion crew on where they need to stretch to.
It'll be a small reset. Everybody's going to meet up with each other so you can get the top off onto Ev. That's Jazzkid's responsibility. That's going through as a Sky, by the way. So not going back to play the Rays on that side, but they are going to try to sell this fake. You see both the ISO and the Sky moving over on that side. The pop flashes will happen. You're just waiting for that. But because of the smoke that's being thrown towards main, you had to 3-2-1 the walkout at that spot. So you do. Everything's good. This might guarantee at least a plant for FlyQuest Envy for the second map.
Lion crew really fighting down on that fake, but the jig is up. Benji has to go out kicking and screaming, and now it's a deadly game of bring around the Rosie. The two-top is insane. What a shot. What a stop to what looked like soon to be an open sight for the NVFlyQuest squad. It's all up to Poppin. It was part of selling that fake over at A, and now with 7 seconds left, it's all over. Back-to-back rounds for the Lion crew.
It was supposed to be an easy plant because of a 3v1 swarm into that spot, especially with the gap that was closed on that first swing out from the pillar, looking into B main from Benji. And then suddenly took a couple of shots for the first kill, but then as soon as he connects to the third, look at how clean the third kill is. So, okay, not too bad. The second one, this should be easy. Then somehow bends that bullet and curves it for the third headshot. That was just insane on the hold from Benji. On a solo B site. So no extra economy on that side for NVFlyQuest for that second round, but at least they still have economy to work with on the third.
Oh, just caught out in the open. Fantastic flash from Egster. FlyQuest realizing they need to invest a bit more in Michaela. Oh, the stocks are going up for this initiator. Fantastic, but all the action's happening elsewhere, but you're making the job easier, especially with Exeter already being injured. They on the high ground. The setup is there. Flank on watch. Poppin versus Munch. Oh, Michaela hopes to overtake the high ground. Like the idea here from the Lion crew, and Munch gets the perfect timing against Poppin. Slowly dismantling of this post plant.
One enemy remaining.
Lion crew now have to advance through, and Munch has already been discovered earlier. All they could do is jump out, so no bonus converted today.
It was supposed to be a nice round, though, for the side of Envy. That was supposed to be a little bit better than a flawless, if not finishing out the way that they did. It was still some good damage being done, all thanks to Michaela. Because that's two players swinging out towards that A site. She's holding that solo. She wins both of those. And then suddenly, right over here, they're just missing a little bit of timing here on how they wanted to swing for that fight. They didn't expect for an early swing, I guess, from the side of FlyQuest Envy that Michaela was going to come out towards that hell. So surprises two players, makes it very expensive for FlyQuest Envy within this round. Look at this buy.
Oh, and look at that first blood. Poppin was part of that in the previous map, although the scoreline wouldn't tell you that story. Shield towards the right, but Benji, that lurk, you gotta be careful of what he could be up to. Just across the board, the way that Flying Crew trusts in each other to pull out these solo plays, and Michaela is still a menace. Will ward everyone away with the Prowler. And no revenge for NV FlyQuest.
If there's no timeout, this has to be a call, at least from Thea, within the future rounds to just add that pressure onto the A side. As they're playing a little bit more passively and just leaving that gap. Michaela's been disrespecting it and getting great value on the last two pushes. So that might force a little bit of a slower default now.
What an angle. Munch at 10 HP still gets value. You love to see it. 2 versus 2. Top of heaven. Menace flash out. NV FlyQuest tuck in. Keep safe. Now wanting to watch
30
screens.
seconds left.
Kind of bait out this engagement. And Jazzy finds the angle, and it's just Joe. But will it be Joe W? He's got 11 HP. And Jazzykins, who cares what role she fills? She still frags.
Still gets to plant two to force out the Seekers, or to have the Seekers available for round number 5. Love that you're consistently just fake planting at this point, just to try to flush out your opponents. You're knowing that Joe's going to be low on HP. It's being called out. It looked like it was going to be, once again, a great hold and a great start for KRLY within that last round, with how well they've anchored up the A site at the very beginning. But the inserts came out towards the end. The backstabs there coming out from Exeter made it very difficult for the players rotating back from that B site. Kept them at bay on A after. And that was an important round that was needed here for FlyQuest Red. Either of those teams losing that round, we're going to go on to an eco within this round here. So now it's on the side of KRLY to go for the Shiko, with one stinger in the hands here of Mephisto. And they're trying to go for a little bit of that fight here on that side. That disrespect is still coming out from the side of KRLY for pushing out towards this A site. And that funnels everybody into Mephisto with the stinger, though.
Lion Crew just hoping to bail each other out. Not giving up on this walk up into garage. Being aware that the flash could be deadly, and Poppin', that plot armor stays strong. And NV FlyQuest even teleport in. They're wasting no time. Lion Crew will be around the corner with a Viper's Pit, but how much you really want to invest in... Oh, wait! Wait, these sheriffs are doing work. But it's a pretty significant dent, but is this salvageable from Munch at 26 HP? Finding an alternative, a different path, left. But has been spotted by Jazzy. No flash, no paranoia. Just the power of friendship to keep NV FlyQuest afoot.
Straddling a little bit here. Let's try to make sure that we can top off Thea with the heal instead of trying to secure the plant.
We're gonna catch them walking out. I thought Jazzy saw an high ground, but maybe. Imagine they would have rotated after being spotted. Munch, the patience really paying off, and that's why she was the rookie to watch out for at GCC. What a performance, and open to go for the clutch, but against the vet of Jazzykins, who's already in prime form in this map. Swing and a strike. That's all Jazzykins needs.
And you were once again just clinching into the scenario that 1v1 because of how good these sure shots came through from these GC players for the side of LATAM. Crew Visa just owning it up there with what once again should have been an easy and cleaner round for the side of FlyQuest and Envy. But they've made it very doable. 6 bullets left into that weapon when she picks up that Vandal, and it definitely could have been in their favor. But thankfully, Jazzykins is able to save that one more time for the side of FlyQuest Envy. So that said, that keeps the economy quite low for the attack. They get the plant, yeah, whatever, but you know that in these lower buy rounds that you have from KRLY, they've made it very expensive every single time for NV FlyQuest, so they could really much stay in this game.
Yeah, the way that FlyQuest Envy can scale up is quite scary. And this is now getting really, really close. This was the map that we've been destined to see. None of these 13-1s, 13-2s. Want a close and clean game, and we're getting just that after now a more extended series. And this is for the big cheese, for a chance to go to the grand final tomorrow. See, the coaches are also taking this very, very seriously. No more time for games.
Yeah, you know, especially when Adam is calling for these timeouts and he's talking to the team, there's always going to be a novel, pages and pages of notes that's going to be just splurted into the ears of his players. And it starts with them looking for that early information. Look at the amount of util being thrown towards that B main just to hold and lock down that spot. Because they know right now that it's always been soft for the side of NV FlyQuest on that A site in the beginning. You're just making sure here they can fight toe-to-toe in that spot. And then for that reset, going back into the mid control. So a little bit of a checkpoint that is in favor of the defensive side. Now you're looking for that minute mark information. The first Prowler comes out from Michaela. Wouldn't be surprised if she throws the second one at that minute mark. And once it gets confirmed, you start playing here for that retake into the A site.
I like the line crew reinforcing Benji. On the left side, as you pointed. Prone, and it's NV FlyQuest stopped in their tracks, thinking it was looking open. Now they have to try and wrap around through the high ground.
Here.
As the spike gets set up at the front too, is Eggster. Ready to converge into screens. The dog is going to reveal shots from both sides. The flash, Eggster just keeps them anchored. And the double swing is out. Eggster takes care of business before Mom's trades. Thea in a 1 versus 2 on the high ground.
It's not planted for her.
One enemy remaining.
Launch and Benji is left to keep the and it's just a prank. There it is. Thea clutches.
We're all trying to figure out what's going to happen after. Once we came back here, we were playing a little bit of a slideshow going through, and then in the end, I don't know if everybody's talking to each other. I wonder if the whole server was actually lagged out, because that's why they're all laughing. So it ends up being the Omen being behind the Omen and execution on that side of Thea to be able to clutch that 1 versus 2. Like I said, it wasn't really planned for her. And it looked like, once again, NV FlyQuest is going to shut down that flood retake attempt at the very beginning from the side of Crew and Lion. But somehow you just have 2 hero players are always able to come back and make this very winnable on their side. Has to come down for another clutch, and it comes down to the victory for FlyQuest Envy.
Those timeouts. Nothing has changed for the Lion crew. Playing for those retakes and able to scratch the surface on the entries of NV FlyQuest. Now you've seen glimpses of what this plan is, and it's a lot centralized around the perimeter of the map. You see that there's a lot more garage aggression from the defenders to invest more. Now it's the right side of the map that could be exploited.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm gonna give some +2s and some credit now to the Omen player on the side of KRLY. The way that Benji's currently playing the anchored site on the B site and the value that he gets here off the paranoia are actually quite big. The only thing is, unfortunately, there's a little bit of overcommitment on one end or a miscomm on the side of who he's trying to flash for, that they swing a little bit too early as to get picked off. Because remember when I think it was Exer, right, that was holding towards that flower pot, and you go for the double swing from both extremities into the entrance of the screens. They didn't play that into perfection for their side because they bumped into each other, which became an easy spray for Poppin. But instantly as they fall, Poppin gets fully blinded from the top of heaven from that flash from Benji. So if they waited a little bit more on that timing, Poppin's fully flashed, you get at least a guaranteed kill and maybe one person still alive here towards that screen, so you could actually have a better flood retake into the site. Same thing happened towards that B main when you actually had the bonus round, Mephisto inserted with the stinger into that into the B long. The paranoia came across when you heard the double tap, but he swung a little bit too early before Poppin got hit by that paranoia, so that he actually gets no value here with that stinger. So it gives a chance for Envy to really go for that death ball into the site. So if that communication comes out a little bit better here for that timing, for the synergy for the side of Crew and Lion, they're looking quite primed to have a strong defensive half on their side and to keep this game very, very close. But I think this is what we expected anyways. I mean, Kiwi, the third map was going to be back and forth. And if it's not for clutches from the side of Jazzikins and from Thea, it would have definitely been probably like a 4-2 for the side of Crew Lion.
Headshot, cameraman.
Missed me. I get to dodge bullets.
Okay, nap time for for Poppin, but
somebody get him a microfiber cloth. He's gonna need to clean that monitor now.
Also, this is so cursed, so deja vu that the tech pause, these two teams on split. I'm 90% sure. And Poppin had said in the interview that they came out stronger after that tech pause. So maybe FlyQuest NV, I don't think need too much help since they're ahead by 2, but
crazy, eh? That it happens on the third map, or at least on split, and it happens between these two teams, and the game is going to stay close back and forth. So let's see what happens. But I'm just trying to. Do you want to cast as rock paper scissors?
Yeah. Camera person.
So wait, when you're pointing that one towards the air, is it the French way? Because I remember when I was playing rock paper scissors in French, it's roche papier ciseaux. But then if you do that one letter, it's allumette. It's a match, so it could burn the paper too. So you could actually like burn the paper and also cut the paper. I don't know why we invented that as a kid.
Lighter?
But, sorry.
What beats the lighter? The rock, I guess.
Well, it's a match. Well, yeah, I guess a lighter or a rock gets smashed by a lighter, or a match gets smashed by the rock, right? I don't know. Does a rock ignite? Can a rock ignite the match? But it can't burn the rock. You can heat it up though.
Yeah, just smash the person holding
we're just dumb kids.
the lighter.
Maybe we never should have added the match. Just keep it at 3. That's how it's done.
Now you're hoping to hit those headshots just in the server as well. And we got all the mascots, the Labubus. I know Alexis had the moose plushie out. Soon, but I'm being the second time it's happened to these exact two teams.
And also early in the day, so it's not too bad, right? At least for these two teams. So I'm down for it. The first 2 maps went by very quickly too, because we had a 13-2 and a 13-11. So I don't think that the energy is tired out yet within the server. So they definitely have it the patience to resume this as soon as possible.
Well, you know what would also build anticipation? Okay, well, Jazzykins fighting someone, but also sending it to a break. We'll tell you the winner of this fight after this.
Hello, everyone. As you saw, a couple of game issues occurring. We are in the midst of solving them right now, so we are going to be taking a little bit of a break. Opportunity, get a snack, chill out, go take the dog for a quick walk. We'll be back soon with more Spotlight Series Americas.
Got your trail. Got your trail. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
fuga, vai. Então fuga, vai. Não tenta bater de frente, sabe que lá tá fazendo macete. Desce até o chão, ela tá doida pra colar com a gente. Fazendo macete. Ela tá doida pra colar com a gente. Tá? Então fuga, vai. Então fuga, vai. Não tenta bater de frente, sabe que lá tá fazendo macete. Desce até o chão, ela tá doida pra colar com a gente. Fazendo macete. Ela tá doida pra colar com a gente.
We are back, y'all. Thank you so much for your
No, we're
patience.
not.
Honestly,
Look at that. They're still plugging stuff.
we're just making sure Jazzy's fixed up because she looks like she lost that fight to Thea just now. We did say we were gonna update you on how that brawl was going, but now we gotta settle it in the game this time.
Yeah. They both look defeated because one, Jazzkins definitely is just staring into the void, and then Thea is still setting up her headset. So, and then meanwhile, we're looking at KRLY and just looking across the stage, being like, "Yo, guys, hurry up, man."
I blame the Labubu. There's something about that thing that is cursed.
You have to blame Moobs. He's the one that mentioned it on broadcast. So
It's true. He is 6 foot, and you know what 6 represents, right? So
7.
Look.
Damn it! I said I wasn't gonna do that.
You
joke.
said it, dude.
They got me, dude. I blame this time. I blame Tenric and
Marks, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Brayton Ron so much. I'm forgetting names too.
Honestly, SRG brought that into existence. Like they
But it
started
also-
mind controlling
That
their
one was
team.
kind of funny though. What Alexis did. It was kind of funny. But yeah, we're gonna get into the game. Thank you for your patience, everybody. TLDR, if you're just tuning it now, or if you blocked everything out in the first 6 rounds, it went back and forth. Now we're going to round number 7. There's been a lot of moments where KRLY were very close to winning rounds on these ecos, and it always came down to like 2 big clutches on 1v1s from Jazzkins and from Thea for them to take this 2-point lead. So now we resume. It is back into an eco for KRLY, and they still have a chance here to do an impact and keep the economy low from the side of FlyQuest Envy.
Oh, there's like 3 around the corner, and Mephisto still got away with that. But now silence, no showstopper, just kill contracts and kills for Poppin. Being able to pop back out, tucked in, Benji greets them with open arms. And with the assistance of Michaela from the top side, the Slaying crew trying to shut the door on this round and pop in against the world. The wall had it coming, I swear, but a 3K, the plot armor up. Now that's been cracked. The reload, the mind games, and a almost ace for Poppin, but Joe shows up just in time.
Poppin would have been an insane highlight reel for sure for Poppin's side there for FlyQuest Envy. But everything else outside of that, you have to command how KRLY played that. Outside of the smoke, the crossfire that they set up, the bait that they played was just so nice. And once again, it's the shares, the ecos that start off the rounds here for the side of KRLY. The first pick that came from Mephisto right into the B main, and they're able to eco it back. I was just about to mention before the action happened, because of those rounds where, you know, on a low buy from KRLY, they always kept the econ quite low for FlyQuest Envy. So despite it being a 4-2 scoreline and it just got ecoed, look at how low their economy goes into this round here. No plants on their side too, so they're forced to full eco.
The multiple shots heard, trying to take care of that Prowler from Michaela, and that's where the off at full attention and absolutely decimated, trying to get through A and the wrap through the ramp. Not gonna work out too. And we are all tied up after the tech pause.
And is this what we want to see right now? Because as before we went to the tech pause, you've mentioned Lemon Kiwi that Poppin mentioned in his interview when they won yesterday. Is like, oh yeah, after the tech pause, we felt like we kind of lit up, and then they just dominated for the rest of the game. But now it seems like the tides have turned here, where KRLY after the tech timeout gets an eco, gets into converting a very clean anti-eco as well on their end, and they've tied up this game. So yeah, win one any other way.
Well, I want to hear what this Lion crew is up to. Let's listen in.
Drone a la Sky, boludo.
Era
Creo
solo
que
los
pasó una
turistas,
rampa.
solo los turistas. No pasaron. Ya van a pasar, ahora sí van a pasar.
¿Es B?
Sí, creo que sí.
Vai para.
Player standing.
Vale.
Hay que podríamos hacer cuando peleemos el bello, déjale la pipa a la punta al otro lado y lo peleamos full con banda nomás, ¿vale?
Guys are getting content and we're learning a new language. At least for me. I know most people in America are bilingual, but sounded hectic, but still successful.
Yeah, and it looks like the comms came from Michaela a lot too, especially on that 2 versus 4. Caught into the position of where that Sky and the Viper were at too, towards that A main. And you saw, unfortunately, despite those calls, Monch, as she's walking down here towards that mid, came out with a knife instead of really trying to look through the sewer. She could have cut some rotates and continued to make it expensive here against FlyQuest Envy, but we go from back and forth rounds and now back and forth from low buys to low buys converted for both teams. So yeah, this is a very fun first half that we're experiencing so far as NVFlyQuest are selling this fake into the B site. As they find the information, instant TP. And then we're gonna move to scale into the A site right away.
Oh, the Prowler is going to grab the behinds of NVFlyQuest on their way in, so they is going to hang back just in case there's a wraparound through ramp. Even going to double up with Poppin. Front, Viper's Pit. This is going to be quite the space to try and puncture through for Lion Crew. Now Joe's going to pop their own dimensional drift and just assess the positioning. Who's within the Viper's Pit? Who could be elsewhere? And well, Thea goes unaccounted for, and Exter takes things in his own hands with the Judge being the bodyguard at the front. Wrapping around subtly is this deadly raise to bring down the Viper's Pit. And Mephisto, they have just swung this in Lion Crew's favor. The defuse, the double sack, Thea's there in time.
Very nicely played by Thea. Makes a lot of noise, gets spotted by the Boombot, yet is still able to convert 2 kills to save the round once again for FlyQuest Envy. It seems as though they weren't even really flustered on the side of the LATAM team when that ult came through from Exter on that B side, because you already had a TP set up towards screens. So you had a great job being held back here from the side of Joe, so you can't push on the side of Envy, and you could counter them into the pit with your own Euro ult. It came through the drop in that pit, getting some good damage, but those playing into the elite lurks and the backstabs in the end converted round for NVFlyQuest. Back in the lead by 2 rounds, everything. Momentum reset once again from Crew Line, as they are once again trying to spot for some information in their low buy. Back and forth we go, continuing the low buy versus big buys. Very rarely do we see so far since we came back from the timeout, or at least from the pause, that we've had equal footing in terms of the economy for these two teams.
Like that insertion from Joe and the smoke from Benji when you heard the outlaw from NVFlyQuest. So gonna start at B and at A. This is a trend that Lion Crew are starting to mark. And look at their reads. They are set up, ready to greet this. The Seekers will guide NVFlyQuest into the site, teleporting in with the Yoru, and Exter is found early. Thought they had time to set up. And the Nightfall reigns in on this offense. They were just more focused on the high ground, and Poppin gets the job done. And now within the site, coming through ramp, NVFlyQuest could be getting out-rotated here. And that was a real chance for Benji to strike. Now it's Joe's turn, and a headshot almost a second. Damage being done, spotted. So many cutoffs. This time it's Mephisto that'll check them at the door. And the pat down and the thrifty in favor of the Lion Crew.
Back and forth we go. Another thrifty. If any sponsors are watching right now, you know what to do. The next time that League of Ace is putting together a Spotlight Series or Challengers, you could know for sure you could go for a sponsorship for Thrifties here, because we are definitely just trading things out for these two teams. There was a little bit of a whiff from Benji there at the beginning that we saw on that A ramp that was trying to cut the rotates over, when he's been so good in the first half, or the first part of the first half on defense on that B side. But thankfully, Joe was there, Mephisto's still there connecting those shots. And now they close that gap by 1. A final push for the half for Envy on the attack. A split towards the A side with the TP. And Michaela is able to at least open things up first.
That was a good idea from Thea. Spikes being left behind. Another awkward round from NVFlyQuest. Just feeling like this was a stronger site. And not too strong of a showstopper, but one guy who can clean things up is Poppin. 1 versus 2. Said he can play with any type of teammate in any type of play style, and this is a familiar situation. When the round seems lost, how you can get it back. Joe and Benji are already knowing this rotation. We'll have a little bit of time for Poppin to set up. Some loud footsteps going to the high ground. Poppin should be expecting this. And almost faltered to the clone he heard at the back alley. And doesn't matter, Joe had the cleaner shots.
Yeah, unfortunately not as clean this time for Poppin, who had first shot free reign on the first 1v1. And that will now allow Crew Line to really tie up this game. So I thought that things calmed down for this side of the LATAM team, but they finally found their footing. And Everything's going to get decided in the second half. A clean slate into the series. There's no double elimination, so whoever wins this one moves into the grand finals. The other, unfortunately, is already going to stop their run at the America Spotlight Series. So we'll see who closes this out, who moves forward after the break.
One enemy remaining.
Tied scoreline going into the second half, and only one team can advance to that grand final. Everyone's settling in after the tech pause too, and it's time to end this, fans.
Yeah, and this is still going to be a big question mark for the side of FlyQuest Envy because, you know, they've changed their composition around. They've built a comp so that they could try to get more rounds on the attack. And unfortunately, we're able to capitalize onto 6 rounds. I believe this time around, though, on the defense, they still have flashes to work with, which they didn't have last time around. So that would help them for these type of fights.
Jazzykins waits for someone to capitalize off of that flash close and affecting Mephisto, but it doesn't matter. Lion Crew just synergize well and clutch under pressure. That's what matters. Beautiful opening to this pistol, leaving Thea in a 1 versus 5.
Min-maxing. Even drops the spike, allowing Mephisto to pick up the orb, go for a plant, and get a flawless in the end for Monch. And look at the HP across the board. Only Monch after that fight there against Thea, but everything else was super clean on their side on the pistol. And apologies, small correction, by the way. I was talking about how they didn't have flashes on the side of Envy FlyQuest. They were still playing with extra as a Yoru, but they didn't have the Jazzykins with the Sky Flashes and the heals that could really help out in these moments where they could aggress a little bit more here on the defense, especially with the fact that if you were playing a Sage in the first place anyways, you did have that heal, but they having that dog in those flashes for the double fights to make sure that you could lock out some areas probably is what they're trying to cook coming in this time around on their rematch against KRLY in this third map.
Blinded.
Joe with that same Marshall Baez back on bind. Looking to support at a distance, but with the Viper's walls in the way, can complicate things and definitely nullify his impact. But it allows for more subtle rotations towards ramp after sensing that flash from Jazzykins. Not something that Lion Crew want to mess with. They're getting ahead of the game. Oh, Joe, right in that space. And Extra waits for the moment to come out. No flash in hand, just to use the clone. The Prowler is chasing after the clone, so that's one way to take care of that. Double flank starting to form. A lot on Mephisto's plate, while hoping to not be caught out by someone pushing from screens. And oh, the spike! Lion Crew being huddled up. Benji takes full control. He's just better with the Guardian, man. He becomes faker with the Guardian, and I don't know with any other gun.
I was about to say, yeah, the 180 tap onto the third one too. And looks like on the side of FlyQuest with the coaching staff, they couldn't believe it. It looked like it was very doable for that side, especially when Monch got caught off guard watching it from the cafe spot right into main, which is quite impressive that we're kind of leaving that gap because you're not playing anybody that's playing a full Senti to find information here for the team. It has to be the responsibility of the Viper, and you know that with the execution, nobody was really inserted towards middle for Elite Lurk. So to keep that gap open and give a chance for Envy to come back, I would understand the frustration on the coaching side because they felt like they almost had it.
Oh, Joe teleported right in front of Ev. Ballsy play. It does get traded there by Michaela, so there's layers to this Lion crew and how they're hoping to support each other. Now Solo's left on the extremities, seeing what else they can draw out of NVFQ now that Lion crew have made their first move. Michaela's gonna be tested again. Yeah. Oh, the drop down. Shaky aim because of that for Mephisto. Ending at A seems to be the case. And a raid boss, that's Exter, a top performer for this team. Knows his stage like the back of his hand. It's gonna keep everyone from Line Crew so anchored. Jazzykins could be pressed. Thinks she's got a sense of security because of these smokes, and Benji is wrapping around with the Bucky with the spike. That could be a dangerous spot to drop it.
Marked one.
You hear the rotations from B. His Lion crew are very stuck on how to bail themselves out of the situation. A 4K for Egster there.
Great patience for NG FlyQuest. Not trying to rush it through to try to fight into heaven when they spot it where Michaela was playing. They just wanted to make sure that they don't have the disadvantage of going up the ropes and just playing go for it and getting their heads popped off as they move up. They know how clean the shots have been on the side of Michaela on this map so far from that first half. But it ends up being Egster picking up 4 kills in that side, anchoring the A site to perfection. And now that's a bonus round that wasn't really converted on the side of KRLY. Not too much damage being done, so economy is going to be good for the side of NG FlyQuest for this round and the next.
Oh, big ol' hug, still traded. Poppin', kind of like what he did on Haven. Likes to condition the team to expect the unexpected, to keep you on your toes at the extremities of the map.
Beautiful.
And the spike is dropped. A huge play, and the clone gets shot. Exter has a heads up. There's trouble around the corner, and Joe has to salvage this. He at least tries to pick up the spike and silently walk away. And you can't say the same about Benji. Tried to make his way into B and open up things for his objective player. Joe has to address the only thing he knows, which was a player to his right, quick to turn, but not enough in the tank.
Just got to give it to Jazzykins on maintaining that pressure and pushing it away as they caught some players off guard and got some good mid control for the side of KRLY. And as she falls back and goes for a flash, and then it blinds players, forces one to retreat into mail, which allows Poppin to swing out right on the top of heaven and have an easy 1v1 against a half-blinded opponent. Crosshair placement was in there, pick up the kill, and continue the defensive hold here on the top of heaven, not allowing the flood to come through. Now they tie up that game for the side of FlyQuest Envy. We talk about the defensive half here by having these double flashes from both Poppin and Jazzykins, excuse me, is good enough to hold the defense on that B site.
The Lion crew are getting shoved and cut off on their entries, and it's chaos, but that's exactly where Poppin and Exter like to thrive. With the high ground earned 2 options ruined for Michaela. He's trying to just get a lineup, nice lucky headshot, and the jig is up. Penny has fallen, and Exter confirms the 3rd. He is on a roll.
Yeah. No shenanigans this time around too, and no conversion for the Eco or the Thrifties on the side of KRLY. I don't know if he was hesitating a bit for that kill. I feel like he already had his dimensional drift. I could be mistaken on that one, but it almost felt like they wanted to try to keep the last one alive so that Ev can move forward to pick up that kill. Because now you have kill contract available for the ISO for Poppin. You now have the dimensional drift available as well for some retake plays. Because remember, these type of combos you can have with these ults, it's very similar to how you could play a Hunter's Fury with a Yoru ult. You could do exactly the same thing here to do the Yoru with the kill contract to open up some space. And by that space that's taken away from the ult, it allows the Yoru to even TP out in that area to surprise even more. So I think that's a conversation that would happen, that would be going through right now for the side of KRLY, as it's being called by Adam, Coach Adam once again.
Glad you mentioned the teleports from the Yoros because it's been fun to watch the different styles of how you accelerate into the site, TPing in, and sometimes getting caught off guard by who you're standing in front of, or trying to play the mind games if you're on the attacking side and quickly flipping to the other side of the map. So you're seeing like the more time that these players compete together, the more complex their strategies decide to become. And only a round lead for this defense.
Don't give them.
Duelist line up on the right with a flash to enable. Jazzykins has been able to fill any role, even more known as that breach player recently. She'll pair up with Poppin to go for a kill contract if they were to sense some trouble. But Lion Crew is trying to sell that fake towards B, and Exter is going to call that out. Lion Crew don't want to waste any more time acting this out. Teleporting in, Benji gets ahead, and Poppin with the shield! He ruins all of their plans! And Lion Crew just try to get access to the high ground. Some advantage to work with, despite not any warm bodies to keep this going. What a round from NV FlyQuest.
Signature rankers right there. It looks like it's very puggy in a sense, but all of that is because you have such good players that could do these type of plays, and that's getting Poppin ready for after you go for the dimensional drift from Eggster. As he clears out towards B main, he realizes now that Zhou TP's away towards the A site. There's one a site exec into the A site, so they already anticipated the A site hit. And Poppin says, okay, well, I got double tap. Let me just get into a position and spray behind a dimensional drift and get some kills. And he does that highlight reel just like that. And now, unfortunately for KRLY, to continue into this path of buy, save, buy, save, buy, save, back into an eco, but also back into potentially what could be a tech pause, because I doubt you would call a timeout here for the side of FlyQuest Envy when you just won a round like that.
You don't want anything to hinder those. Whatever issues are going on, Exter continues to impress. Yes, it was a slow map for NV FlyQuest previously there on Haven, despite kind of how strong they are. Back to meditation mode for Poppin after what we saw.
Yeah, and actually it was even Exter at the beginning too, no? Before they start the series.
I think so.
Yeah. It's just maybe an Envy thing. You know, we saw on one side, Lemon Kiwi, that for Envy, they close their eyes and breathe. And for Jazzykins and for Thea, as you see on the screen right now, they were doing shoulder pops, you know, stretching out the shoulders, doing the shoulder rolls to loosen up. So I like how every single one of these orgs have different types of stretches and ways to calm down their players to keep the mental focus within these games.
It's been so fun, and I'm glad that no matter the results, like, I'm still seeing everyone smile, not because of tech pauses, but even when you're down like 13-1, like, people are still laughing, screaming over winning a pistol. And, you know, worst case, I guess you get to go explore Mexico some more, which everyone's here has been asking everyone how they found it. And even Lace was like, oh, when I thought my season was done, now I'm in Mexico. And that sounds like a really great place to be in December.
Yeah, 100%. Especially for us in Canada, or at least for me in Canada, where the snow came a little bit early than anticipated, and we're actually getting like even January weather is at the beginning of December, which kind of sucks. Also, it's sad that unfortunately we're not there in Mexico, but at the same time, I'm also very happy that I'm cozy in the heating of my office, casting these games, so I don't have to freeze my butt outside shoveling snow.
Yeah, chat, he's so mad right now. Like,
oh yeah, as I'm smiling, you hear me smile through the microphone, but also clench my fists in my pockets. Man, I wish I was there with the heat.
But also, it's such a big map for just everybody on NV FlyQuest. There's something about these tech pauses where they almost do better at. They're very, I'd imagine, a very tilt-proof team. I think everyone's kind of approaching this in a very chill way, but ranked really does shape you to be a very resilient person. And then you come into this with whatever issues or different people that you're not used to playing with, and you're able to help them out, you know, complement the play styles or the plays that other people are making, while also just not being afraid to ask for things. This is
kind of have fun within the server too. We're just shooting it. Make some people laugh or do the mental warfare of like, oh no, we're in game. I am going to be super competitive and I'm going to. I mean, so
Mr.
far we're looking
Fix-It.
at him and the screen's still frozen for me. So
Coach Joe, I'm not good with faces, but Mr. Fix-It,
yeah,
get in there.
he's checking the servers, so maybe. Yeah, I see some hand movements going on to the mouse pads too, so that's a potential. But
Well, we got Winthrop
definitely-
here. Surely somebody majors in IT or something, right? We got the collegiate
Definitely not
boys.
history.
That's so true. Lunch is apparently a subject. I want to major into that. Which all those segments ended up being just like Moob's Q&A. It was
Yeah.
all just the only guy volunteering for media segments, which, you know, maybe that's why Winthrop Shopify had a training and the media segments. I think they're also going to be a team that looks better today.
Yeah, I actually, you bring up a great point as well in terms of slow starts for a lot of these teams. I mean, one of them, as you've just mentioned, Winthrop and Shopify Rebellion and Moobs, you know, was just talking about it before, where Moobs is being also very modest at the same time, because he said, oh, I could play Omen, but then during on the desk with Dan Dryad, Ash, and Sierra, actually I'm going to call her Sierra Dawn, he mentioned like, yeah, I could play Omen, but then said, oh, I can't really play Omen. But one of the first times that I've noticed Moobs and seen his potential was when he actually did play Omen on Ascent, and probably had, I think it was like a 1v4 clutch. He was like one of the first ones that I've noticed that were doing drop smokes too on the Omen to spot feet whenever he's doing these plays. So he definitely knows how to play controller. He definitely knows how to play Omen. He's just being very, very modest going through. So it's probably like one of those areas of like, I haven't played Omen in a long time, so let me just take the safe way out. But he's definitely doing a great job here filling in for what seems to be the most comfortable roles for every single one of these players on Shopify Winthrop University once we get a chance to see him in the second BO3.
Yes, what a great time there to have some snacks. Everyone at home, you should
Those are
do
hand
that
warmers.
too. Okay, don't eat
You can't-
those,
you can't
actually.
eat hand warmers, yeah.
I don't
You don't
know.
want to do a 2025 Tide Pod challenge.
I would have eaten those, but I'm actually going to go and Google what snacks are in Mexico. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this break, because we'll see you on the other side. I just ate a hand warmer and it didn't really work out, but I'm back here with my best bud Vans, and I promise you we're gonna finish this map right now today.
What does that taste like? Is your throat warm? Are you
Yeah, you know, I'm ready to
burning?
cast. No, it's super helpful. Look what my caster taught me.
Now you can actually drop some fire lines.
Oh, okay. No, I preferred when you said 6-7.
I'm gonna say 8-10 instead for the scoreline as we're back here from the tech pause, and lots of pressure on the defensive side on middle. So it seems as though you're trusting really on both Thea and Pop and the extremities, especially when you still have the kill contract on that side.
Ooh, okay. Cheeky first blood. NV FlyQuest holding the line, but Line Crew, can they actually achieve this high ground without leaving corpses in their wake? And well, now the rotations are coming in from B. Line Crew are getting converged on. It's not looking good, but there's a bunch of sheriffs.
Blinded.
You get contact too on flat, so you know that somebody's there. Especially now that you've dropped launch, so there's not really too much that Mephisto could do. And again, it's just to add one more time a little bit of what NV is currently doing here with not only popping playing towards the extremity, but consistently both Joe and Extra as Yorus are consistently placing these TPs back towards that screen. So you have now like the Euron defense that could add a lot of pressure on or extremity on middle, and you have delays now on the top of Poppin instead of the fade over on the A site from Crew Line. So it's not as easy, I guess, to trust only one person to hold up towards the A site. But at least NV FlyQuest are doing that to perfection because of how quick Extra is on these rotates and how they work together in tandem with the undercut and just the sprays that they have. It's very tough right now for Crew Line to get these entries in the line of scrimmages towards the A site.
Yeah, just pushing past that Viper's wall, the constant switch and positioning from Exter or whoever is holding within the site. And the only boon for Crew Lion has been trying to go through ramp, and if they could remove Jazzykins, that would be a huge part gone from NV FlyQuest when you have not as many flashes with just the Sky and the Yoru. Maybe that's enough, but Exter has gone from screens to tucking through the corner to being doubled up with someone else. It's so hard to read what FlyQuest NV are up to.
We're up to the crossfire set up a change actually in positioning. You do have Poppin playing towards B main instead. They're trying to go for that capture into the ult once again to just cancel out Mephisto's showstopper. Thankfully the pathing is different, but it allows he still gets a kill from the grave.
Revenge is sweet. I can't believe Mephisto got away with that. And now the Lion Crew, well, that doesn't seem to be a step in the right direction. Despite the one kill, at least Ev won't be able to Viper's Pit and kill contract thrown from Poppin, kidnaps Benji. How is he gonna do? He just watches him playing with his food. And Poppin doesn't even react. Match point, series point for FlyQuest Envy.
And I didn't have a chance to say before it all started. So the positioning, the change that they had, that's Mephisto loving to use the showstopper on this B site within this matchup, either on defense or on attack. So you're trying to go for the scale. You're trying to stop the showstopper on the entry. So great on Mephisto to understand that and path from Male instead, but just did not expect here the player to play behind the boxes of Ev. He's able to take them down here before they drop, but the rest is just continuing to be Poppin and Exter. Both of them dropping over 20 kills in this last map of the series. Not another one to the Kali, and another one.
And another one. Okay, DJ Khaled, but wait.
I was gonna say, there's DJ Mephisto too.
Okay, the twofer. Love to see that. Lion Crew need anything and everything they can get. Trailing behind. After having that 6-6 half, this is very deja vu from being almost able to come back to being silenced permanently, being down a person with no ults, but at least a paranoia, a way from Mephisto to satchel in. First time playing together, but it's do or die.
And it was the biggest fight that was needed there for Monch back towards that A site. If she could have won that, it opens up the A site for them to rotate over on that spot. Now instead, you have to play into silence, contact play the whole time, which gives an advantage for somebody playing in an off angle to at least get one and make it even more difficult for the side of KRLY to be able to close out this round. So another smoke to try to fake towards heaven. They walk
30
towards
seconds
screens.
left.
Poppin' knows.
Poppin's already waiting, yeah. Grab orb, ult. Okay, that's good. It's over.
Stone cold and doesn't even need to blink, but if you blink, you miss it. 13-8. NV FlyQuest have ended it, and they're going to the grand final.
Big play coming out there on that last round. So dogging for information, moving forward to pick up the orb, confirming the last two players are nowhere near that B site with the Seekers. And Envy, they turn it around from a slow start on that first day. Well, not only Envy,